Maxwell here, and welcome to another WWE pay-per-view video from TW 2016. Of course, this is my offline save. Into September now, so it is Night of Champions. I am recording this at like 5 to 3 in the morning, so maybe a bit quieter than usual. But yeah, it's been an interesting month. We've finally risen up to international level, so there's extra pressure on getting every feud to a much higher level. We had big plans to put the title on AJ Styles. Then he got injured for 2 months, so this would have been the ideal time for him to get the title. He's out, but we have had a returnee, Randy Orton, come back from injury, so he's going to be in the main event match. We also have Kevin Owens back from injury, which is good. A couple of new signings are debuting here as well, that'll be within our tag division. Apart from that, just a few other things we're passing on. A couple of heel turns have happened, a couple of face turns. Really just try to build up some stars to kind of, pardon me, give us enough star power going forward so we can get 2 brands. So without me building on too much, we'll crack on with the show. As I say, it is Night of Champions. And yeah, just hoping for a good rating. Hope you enjoy the show, guys. We'll explain the feuds as we go along. So let's get into it. So the other reason I'm doing this very early in the morning is I completely forgot about the dynamic biographies, and I wanted to change it my save, but I was already booking a show. As I promised you guys, I would put every pay-per-view on YouTube, so I thought I want to record it now because my TNA bit is also, TNA story is also on a recording bit, so I'll have to wait to get back to the main screen, the booking, when I'm not booking a show, before I can change that. So I thought, you know, let's get this done. Anyway, so we're at the Wrigley Field. We were told to expect 43,000. Only 36,819 have turned up. That's quite disappointing. But that's up to us to try and draw those fans in and make sure we get those kind of tendencies. So we start off usual hype video for the show, vignette, as you would always get before a pay-per-view, and it hypes up our main event's going to be Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So a B-76 there to start the show. We'll have our pyro and that getting off, and we kick on with the show. We start off basically hyping up the feud between Big E and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. I didn't want to split it into a hype video for a 1-on-2 match. The match at the pay-per-view is going to be Big E versus Kofi. But basically, Big E's turned on the New Day after losing the Tag Team Championships at SummerSlam. So it's Xavier and Kofi are together. Big E is obviously going to get the big push. So the hype video here only gets the C-58, but it carries on with this segment. They aren't great for overness, but like in terms of promos, Big E is killing it with some 90 ratings. So the announcers lifted the match, the colour commentary lifted the match. Overall, again, just working on some of their overness, because I think Xavier Woods someone who's going to be good in the long run, I think. The match itself was decent, and Big E defeats Kofi Kingston in 12 minutes and 23 by pinfall with a big ending. B-74, that's pretty good for where it was in the card. Kofi was off his game. Xavier doing some good work at ringside. I'll keep them paired together despite the no chemistry until they go their own way. The match got the crowd hotter. Kofi with 60, Big E with 79, and the big ending of the New Day has advanced. No skill improvements in this instance. Only negatives here mostly for Kofi, but again, it's a work in progress with Big E. We might push Kofi going forward, but Big E is a priority at the moment. And basically after the match, we just have a promo from Big E. Still haven't taken Xavier off as his manager. Big E basically just saying, I don't need the New Day, this is all about me, this is my time, and I'm Big E. So B82 there for Big E's promo. Because of the type of video we're doing, I don't need to type out the gist of the promo, but that's what he's saying. Next up, we've got a hype package for Finn Balor versus Batista. That feud's continued. Obviously, Finn Balor got the win at SummerSlam with the roll-up. Batista's a bit pissed. So these two collide again tonight. So B-73 continues their storyline, which results in a C+70, not amazing, but in a decent match. Finn Balor defeats Batista in 13-17 by submission with a Fujiwara armbar. Balor was 77, Batista was 64. Batista hasn't really been worth it. Poor mic skills, not the greatest overness that we need them to be at for his limited skill set, and really just a case of using him to elevate Finn Balor here. But no skill improvements to speak of, negatives mostly for Batista, and all that adds to this segment is after it, Batista decides he's had enough, he picks his bags up and leaves, he says he's quitting. The initial plan here is Batista's going to go on holiday, we'll give him like a 3-month break, we'll bring him back about the Royal Rumble. Just really no plans for Batista, but might be something down the line. So, B-75, not a great time here for Batista at the moment, but hopefully we can bring him back to more success. Next up, a video hyping Sasha Banks versus Paige, which gets a D+52. Obviously, she's been put into the Boss versus Becky storyline, which just keeps carrying on. A little bit of concern about this match because it is the 4th time it's happening, but hopefully we can get something decent here. And yeah, it's not too bad. Considering it was the 4th time, and about that had some decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat. Sasha Banks defeated Paige in 12:52 with a bank statement. Sasha Banks makes defence number 2 of her WWE Women's Championship. We had a couple of title defences on Raw as well, so C-56. It got the crowd buzzing. It was the 4th time, it could have been better, but I'm still happy with that. We'll just try, we need more women basically. Be challenging because I've already peeked out matches between Becky, Sasha, Charlotte, and Paige. Do you think they're who's missing? 68 for Paige, 68 for Sasha Banks. Again, building these up. But if we can get them all up to B-minuses for matches, I'll be delighted. No skill improvements to speak of. Negatives here. Sasha Banks for going all out. So maybe if they didn't go all out, we'd had a better success. So C-56. In a match that was put into fill time because I used too many angles. And about had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat. Samoa Joe defeated Kalisto in 13:08 by pinfall with a muscle buster. B-76. Joe wouldn't put Kalisto over, that was the plan. So I need to find something for Kalisto, but got the crowd hotter. Kalisto with 62, Joe with 76. Good win for the Samoan Submission Machine, who's kind of languishing in the mid card. But hopefully we can sort something out for him. Give him a decent push, give him a story that can get him to that next level. Next up, in a decent match where Jericho defeat Bray Wyatt and Doomsday in 10:37 when Big Show defeated Doomsday with a chokeslam. A B-78. You may ask why is Big Show and Chris Jericho going over. We'll explain that shortly. But Doomsday get a 72, Wyatt get a 77, Big Show with 63 and Jericho with 76. It continues the storyline for now. No skill improvements. Negatives here mostly for Jericho rather than the Big Show. So Big Show's not declining physical ability, but Chris Jericho is. Interesting. Basically after this we have an angle where Bray Wyatt is getting a bit annoyed at Doomsday. So basically what we're doing here is Bray is going to turn heel. Obviously he starts at face in this mod because of what happened after WrestleMania. His face turn. Plan is Bray is going to realign with Luke Harper when Luke Harper comes back from injury. They'll be the heel tag team. We'll keep Rowan and Strowman in development until they're better skilled. Doomsday will be up against Bray Wyatt and Harper, and I'm going to pair him with Kalisto. Now that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it's more of the theme alongside Kane and Hurricane, and Kane versus his various little man tag team partners, just to try and elevate Kalisto to the next level. So B-77, Doomsday developing better performance skills. Bray Wyatt still babyface for just now, but obviously a bit frustrated. I want to give it a bit of time, build it up before the next pay-per-view. And we carry on. Next up and about, they had some decent wrestling, but didn't have much heat. The tag team champions, the King of the Strong Style, defeat the Usos in 13:41 when Hideo Itami defeated Jimmy Uso by pinfall with a Kenta combo into a Bisai Ku knee kick, I believe that is. We'll just say the GTS. Kings of Strong Style make defense number 3 of the tag titles. B81's fantastic for them, considering that Jey Uso still has this injury. Still over a year left with shoulder tendonitis, but I need to keep pushing the Usos and giving them tag title shots so they can elevate and help other stars. So he was slowed by the injury, but Itami with 79, Nakamura 71, Jey with 66, and Jimmy with 67. Waiting for their match. Pretty strong tag division at the moment. Hideo is improving performance skills. Negative there, just the working injured. Apart from that, it was perfect. And then we talk about our strong tag division. Boom. The Kings of Strong Style are celebrating in the ring when the DMG run in and attack them, beaten down to the mat. So disappointing was a C plus 67, but both of the former Motor City Machine Guns had like 66 to 68 overness, so I felt there's a good chance that's an upper mid card tag team. Didn't want to take the Motor City Machine Gun name to WWE. I want to try and avoid names that they would use out with the WWE and give them something else. So they're now the DMG, which is the Detroit Machine Guns. Basic, simple. Some people like it, some people will hate it. But Alex Shelley debuts the Degenerate gimmick, which is very good. Arrogant heel for Chris Sabin, unfortunately, below average. But when I seen these two were both available at a decent overness for their age, a lot of potential we can use that can get them high up the card pretty soon. Next up, we've got a promo with Sami Zayn, who's talking about his upcoming match with Alberto Del Rio. B-75. Del Rio basically says this guy shouldn't be Intercontinental Champion, he's a nobody, he's a nothing, and this is going to be a walk in the park for Alberto Del Rio. Sami Zayn's obviously annoyed and says he's going to give everything and never give up. Basically what John Cena would say. Then we have a hype video for the match, obviously documenting the feud so far. Del Rio beating Sami Zayn up after matches, so C plus 68. And the match itself hopefully draws well. That was fantastic actually, and about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Sami Zayn defeats Alberto Del Rio in 13:09 by pinfall with a brainbuster. Sami Zayn makes defense number 5 of his WWE Intercontinental Champion. B82 is fantastic. I've been working this feud like the John Cena Open Challenge. Sami Zayn defending it every week, and he's just getting more over and over, which can give him a good push in the future. Good chemistry between these two. Sami Zayn with 76, Del Rio with 81. It continues the storyline for just now, if I decide to go with it. Negatives, Sami Zayn in the length of the match. We could maybe have made it bigger, but happy with that regardless. Then we have a promo with Kevin Owens about his match with Cesaro coming up for the US Championship, which you get a B plus 86, just giving KO time. Looking good, and basically giving us a good rating going into our co-main event. Match itself done very well as well, and about that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Cesaro defeats Kevin Owens in 14:35 with a neutralizer. Cesaro wins the United States Championship. B plus 83 here. The reason for putting Cesaro over KO, KO is now going to push on to try and go to the main event. Cesaro will have a good chance for the US title. And I really needed a strong co-main event. I felt these two would deliver, so delighted with that. Got the crowd buzzing. Cesaro in 82, Kevin Owens with an 88. No skill improvements to speak of. Negatives, inconsistency, and the lack of hot associated storyline. Fair enough, it's been mostly Kevin Owens cutting promos on Cesaro, but delighted that we get a good match out of them, and Kevin Owens can push on to the main event. Give us just some fresh matchups in the main event scene. After the match, we have a little moment similar to Benoit and Guerrero, where Sami Zayn comes to the ring, celebrates with his friend Cesaro that they are both champions of the IC and the US titles. So a little moment there for the fans, and an A90 segment which is delightful between Cesaro and Sami Zayn. While this is happening though, Kevin Owens gets frustrated and throws a temper tantrum. Again, just try to get as many good angles out as possible in case the main event flops. But B plus 83, just really highlighting the frustration of Kevin Owens. We then have a Dean Ambrose promo on Roman Reigns, basically just hyping up this fatal 4-way and really try to build as much into this, as much heat and getting the crowd up and ready for this main event match. So Dean Ambrose looked good, the Injustice storyline continues, all good. It's a hype video next, I believe. Yep, so the hype video gets a B plus 88. Talking about how it was going to be Roman Reigns versus Rollins, Ambrose and Styles. Styles gets injured, but quite conveniently, Randy Orton returns back from injury, makes his way, aligns with Roman Reigns, but every man for themselves in this main event match. So Injustice storyline, B plus 88. How will the match do? All four guys aren't great with psychology, which is my worry. But can their overness carry it to a very good match? Let's find out. B81, I did feel the psychology was going to be a problem, but in about they had superb wrestling and great heat. Dean Ambrose defeats Roman Reigns, Randy Orton and Seth Rollins in 24-19 when Dean Ambrose defeated Randy Orton by pinfall with a handful of the tights, basically the Flash pinfall. Dean Ambrose wins the WWE World Heavyweight title. Randy Orton was the weakest link, struggling to keep up with everyone else's in-ring performance. Basically, he's just got less overness when you're working getting him because he's been injured. So he'll be like 80 over. We'll try to get him up to 90s to replicate Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins. Randy Orton was off his game. The match suffered from the lack of psychology. All four guys really are poor psychology. That's why we're going to send Kevin Owens up. Cena will be great when he comes up, and we'll try and bring some more guys. That's why Styles was going to be in the match, because he would have been the guy to put it all together. Roman Reigns went 94, Randy Orton went 84, Dean Ambrose 95, Seth Rollins 93. The Injustice storyline has continued. Can my other angles hopefully put this up? Roman Reigns is improving Rumble skills. Few negatives there, but again, inconsistencies and holding back, and of course the big penalty for the lack of psychology. Like, Roman Reigns is developing psychology skills, just not at a good enough rate. Maybe in like a year's time he'll have like maybe like a B plus, and that'll hopefully help us. But at the moment, he has went from like C minus to B minus, so it's a good progress at the moment, and we just need to keep at it. But anyway, new champion, and that is Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose celebrates in the ring, just know he's won the championship. That's absolutely amazing. Which is an A93. Great moment for Dean Ambrose. Looking forward to running him with champion. And it was a good way to get the title off Roman Reigns without Roman Reigns actually being pinned. So again, a storyline coming out of that. And we end the show. Basically, it was put as a match note, but it didn't come up. Roman Reigns was distracted by The Undertaker. I had The Undertaker and Roman Reigns have a little scuffle on, or a stare down on SmackDown after we turn international. Plan is not to have them face at Hell in a Cell, but to plan to have Roman Reigns versus Undertaker at Undertaker's first ever pay-per-view, which was of course Survivor Series. So making Survivor Series something massive, and then potentially something for WrestleMania as well. Maybe not with these two against each other, but just introducing Undertaker. They like guys like Roman Reigns, but as I say, that's the plan. These two will probably go at Survivor Series. Might steam at Hell in a Cell, but I would really doubt it. I'd probably give Roman his rematch. So A plus 95. It might even help with Undertaker's overness as well. Roman Reigns was good. Taker underperformed. No skill improvements. Very few negatives there. End the show. And damn. B77. Now, that's a lot lower than it should be. That is easily an 80 odd pay-per-view, 82, 83. The problem is, the general feeling is WWE don't have enough storylines going on. Because we've went from national to international, we now need 3 storylines over a certain level. And it doesn't help when 4 of our top workers are all in the same storyline. So that was always going to happen for this one show. It's a shame because it's been a good chance to really pick up more momentum. But it means going out to Night of Champions and going into Hell in a Cell, we can push on and really get some storylines and pick up for years. So disappointing, it's only 7 regions have gained popularity. We haven't lost popularity, so count that as a blessing. But just need to learn to get more guys over and really show that we're ready to become an international company. So 2 guys are going to get the okay, and that's going to be Kevin Owens and Cesaro. This seems like a regular thing here. As I say, I'm not too concerned with the B77. It's one of those things. We didn't put enough storylines over to the level it should be. I was hoping Kevin Owens could carry his storyline. Obviously, we've got the Fatal 4-Way, but it's the third one, the third storyline. Maybe they're not quite at the level we need it to be. But Owens was pleased, Cesaro was pleased. We can also check our storylines coming out of this, and we'll see how far away we were from where we need to be. In other news, Bubba Ray Dudley's leaving the company. He's announced when his contract's up, he is out of here. So there's that to look forward to. Well, really nothing else for him to do. I can get the Summer Tag League. I enjoyed the show, so that's not too bad. I shouldn't look at it too negatively. Anything here that's massively important to us is at WWE. Might look at Io Shirai and sign her. John Cena's contract's ending, I'll fix that. That's going to go because I've signed new deals with Skybox Office and another one in Discover Mexico anyway that's far bigger. I fucked up, I'd happily admit DirecTV, it should have been a little bit higher, but we'll be fine going forward. An 8.39, that's up there with one of our better ones. TV rating gets a 2.91. Okay, I put it in television somewhere. I might need to look that up. If I just quickly go to my broadcasting, and that's what it is. We don't have any pay-per-view in Australia, so 1HD commercial does it, so that's fine. We get a 2.91, and that's probably how we gained a bit of pop in the likes of Australia and stuff like that. Money wise, it looks great, up at 56 million, 11 million, that'll definitely drop by the end of the month. The reason we get so much more money on pay-per-view, 7.362, I've done a Beast Knees special, which I only posted up on the Grey Dog Software forums. I just wanted to try it out. That made us a good bit of money. That was only broadcast in Japan, and again in, was it Mexico? It was either Australia or Mexico, I don't know, but it was really just to try it out, see how the concept works. So I'll be looking to do that a lot more often, they kind of shows. And because we know it works, we'll definitely bring them to YouTube as well. But so good financially, probably dropped to about 52 million. I wouldn't be too worried about that. Size-wise, we're looking good. We're still international. Just need to make sure, keep the 71s, push on to 72. Again, it's just working on the old storylines. 3 storylines with 77. Obviously, our Divas one is going to drop under at C59. You're kidding me. B minus 76, so if that was one more, we would have actually been fine. Justice is B81, so that's fine. Big End in the New Days, B minus 73. The Balor one dropped to a C plus 70. And the Sami Zayn one is the B82. So we are literally missed out on our wild heat by 1 fucking point. By 1 heat, we would have been fine. But hey, that's the small margins in the wrestling business. But overall, we're doing well. A lot of feuds that we can start going forward to Hell in a Cell, and really just try to get as many guys over to make sure that the likes of Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and Mania are as big as possible. So, enjoying the save, guys. I hope you're enjoying the small update videos every so often. I think the fact is we're getting them so often is how much I'm enjoying the save, which is only good to know that Adam has created a game that is very, very addictive. But anyway, I'll not go through the usual stuff with the whole creative meetings and stuff like that. As I say, we'll leave that to next time. But say we're in a good position, things are going well. I'm still going to wait to get a bit more money before we start a WWE network. So apart from that, guys, last thing I'll leave you with is our medical situation. Cena's back in 3 days, AJ in just under 4 weeks, Luke Harper in 2 weeks, so he'll be back shortly for that feud, and he'll probably be back for the next pay-per-view. And Kid, 2 months and 1 week. Giuso still has 11 months of his shoulder tendonitis, and Swagger's back in 2 months and 1 week. And of course, we have meant to say we have a lot more additions to development. If anybody was interested in the whole thing with development, like you can see it's stacked now. So many workers, but that is of course covering NXT and NXT the women's division. Both the women are doing like a weekly pay-per-view type thing, a weekly show. Just to make sure they can get as much skill level and stuff developed as possible. So we have a proper women's division in the coming year. So they want to try and take this to like 2020 or even further. But I say, guys, as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the show, don't be afraid to drop a wee like. Any comments, if you're booking WWE yourself, let me know how you're getting on. I'm quite happy to reply, and it's always good to bounce ideas off others. So if others are playing WWE, let me know how you're getting on, who you're pushing, and hope you're enjoying the series, guys. And thanks for watching. I'll see you all real soon. Bye bye.